The old Southwest Conference. Why? Because Bielema was down there building that offensive line the way he did in Madison for so many years. What about you, Joe?
I guess I'm going to spoil the party because I really like Wisconsin in this game. You look at Alabama hasn't lost an opening season game since 2001 by an average margin of victory, 24.2 points per game. Last loss came in the Rose Bowl against UCLA with Corey House and Skip Hicks. But this is not the same Alabama team that it was even 40 years ago. You look at this team, it was -2 in turnover margin. For the first time since prior to 2008, this team gave up 104 rushing yards per game, which seems like a dominant statistic against the better teams in the SEC. Mississippi State, they gave up 136. Against Tennessee, they gave up 181. Against LSU, it was 183. Against Auburn, it was 174. And everybody knows against Ohio State, it was 281. They only have 3 starters coming back on offense. They don't have Amari Cooper. They don't have DeAndre White. No Christian Jones. They have only 3 starters coming back. And if you think you could just plug in wide receivers, offensive line, no TJ Yeldon, and expect to get the same type of output because it's Alabama, think again. Wisconsin can run the football. They put up 400 rushing yards on Auburn. That bold victory will give this team confidence, and I think Wisconsin gets the upset on Saturday.
I think Chris is the right guy for Stave because he's an offensive-minded coach. I think last year with McAvoy and with Stave never was comfortable because he just wasn't on the field enough, and he also had a shoulder injury. I think they open it up and they go deep if he can get some protection. I think it could be a close game. You also said, and this came out way before some guy from ESPN that came out and said he thought Alabama would lose 5 games this year. Joe Lisi on my radio show on Yahoo Sports Radio 3 weeks prior said he thought Alabama would lose 5 games this year. Joe, just elaborate because I know it blows a lot of minds out there.
I did. They can go to the tape. It was in June. I think it was June 1st or June 2nd, Ken. I was on the show. I just don't think it's the same Alabama team. To me, there's parity in college football. We're not talking about the 90s when we back-to-back Nebraska teams with Tommy Frazier, the Peter brothers, Mike Minter. There's parity in college football. Any team can be beat on any given Sunday. If you look at these teams, Ohio State, TCU, and think they're dominant teams, think again. I'm telling you, there's parity in college football. And for me, again, it's Alabama. It's a new system. Blake Sims was a 5th-year starter with offensive line cohesiveness and had a veteran receiving corps. That helped Blake Sims. You can look at Alabama's games. They got outscored in the second half of their games last year 3 times. They were leading Ole Miss 14-3, lost that game 23-17. They jumped out 27-0 on Tennessee, won that game 34-20. And against Mississippi State, they were winning 19-0, won 25-20. So, I mean, if that was the old Alabama defense, they would have won 52-0. So it's not the same Alabama team. I don't care what people say. I have my own ways of breaking down games, and I'm sticking by it.
Last year, I thought they stole 3 games that they should have lost. Should have lost to LSU. I don't know how LSU gave that game away. Arkansas outgained them by over 170 yards in that game, held Bama to 225 total yards, and somehow Alabama won by a point. Arkansas should have killed them 3 times inside the 15, did not score, but they dominated that game. And then, of course, the Iron Bowl. Who the hell kicks 5 field goals? Auburn did. Malzahn, if he could have that back, they should have been up by 30 at halftime. Lane Kiffin does not have Amari Cooper this year. Let's see how good Lane Kiffin is running that Alabama offense this year. They don't even know who their freaking quarterback is. The guys that we thought, Poker and Cornwell, they may not even be the quarterback. From what I understand, they're both on the back burner right now to the redshirt juniors. Bruce?
What are we talking about here? Oh, sleepers. I mentioned a couple. Well, Florida.
Sleeper in a week 1 play. That's it.
Michigan, a week 1 play. By the way, I'm wrong on these sometimes, just so you know. This is an Alf Bruschetta special. Alf likes this game, and I like it too. Both of us like it, so I don't know if that's good or not. Hawaii plus 7.5 or 8. That first Thursday against Colorado. This is going to be a better Hawaii team. Max Whittick, the USC transfer quarterback, they've come close. Recent years, last year, covered at home in the opener against Washington and Oregon State. Played Colorado tough and really could have covered that game in Boulder. But I don't like the dynamics for the Buffs all the way to Honolulu. Kickoff time, Mountain Time is going to be 11 p.m. You talk to these coaches, that is one thing they will admit at these media days. Playing in Honolulu late, you get tired. Colorado's going to get tired, so I'm going to take Hawaii.
All right, my win total is going to be Utah over. And my opening week game is going to be Utah. I think they blow out Michigan. They dominated that team last year in the Big House. People think Harbaugh's going to step in and be the resurrector of a Wolverine team that really doesn't have a lot of talent. They kicked off their leading kickoff returner, Norfleet, he's gone. They're going to have a lot of trouble, and they're going up into the altitude to play a team that buried them in the Big House last year, 26-10, dominated the game, wasn't even that close. And now you're only going to lay 5.5, 5.6 points. You got Wilson, you got Kendall Thompson, you got Booker, one of the best running backs in the country, and you have the #1 special teams in the country. Best punter, best kicker, best coverage return team. This Utah team's going to blow out Harbaugh. Mark that down. That's my play. Dave Koken, Chris Felica, Joe Lisi, Bruce Marshall, college football. Hope all your games turn out well. Thank you, folks. Brian Blessing will take over from here.